Buongiorno! I'm here in southern Sicily with the new Audi A6. Now, if you've been following what Audi's been doing with their sedans lately, the A4 and the A8, this is kind of in the middle. Nothing too new, it's sort of the sweet spot of the sedan segment, the Goldilocks, if you will. Audi's launching this car with 5 engines, but of course in the US we're only getting 2. The carryover 3-liter supercharged motor, although they are bumping up the horsepower from 300 to about 310. The torque stays the same at 325. We're getting that motor with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, in the rest of the world, you'll be able to get that motor with a 7-speed dual clutch, but for whatever reason, Audi feels that we don't need it, we don't want it. They're also going to give us a 2-liter turbocharged motor, 211 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, front-wheel drive only when it launches, and it comes with a CVT, or as Audi calls it, a multitronic transmission. The big news, though, with this car is the weight, or lack thereof. In kind of a segment first, this car is actually lighter than the outgoing car, which is great news for the segment, especially considering that the last BMW 5 Series we weighed came in over 4,400 pounds. Audi claims that this one, the A6 with the 3-liter supercharged, will be under 2 tons. Again, great news for us, and to put it another way, that's C-Class weight with E-Class size. Now, how does that translate on the road? Let's find out. Once inside the A6's luxurious cabin, you're faced with an orgy of technology. In fact, it's possible to push, pull, prod, doodle, and twist buttons for 50 miles without once thinking about the art or act of driving. Let's start with the stuff that isn't shared with other Audis. Like Infiniti and Mercedes-Benz, Audi has decided that an active lane departure system is in the best interests of its customers. Unlike Infiniti and Mercedes, however, where the opposite rear wheel's brake is squeezed, yanking the car back into line, the Audi method actually uses the electric power steering motor to turn the wheel. Spooky stuff to us driving purists, but yes, you can turn the feature off. Other tech highlights include full Google Maps integration, including Google Voice Search, a feature that our European friends don't get. Opt for the full suite of LED headlights, and if you're using said Google system, the adaptive lighting decides on the illumination needed. If the car knows you're going down a country road, it flips on the brights. Enter a city or town, and it reverts back to normal lamps. When you're about to turn left or right, the appropriate side of the road gets lit up. Very cool stuff. Same with the full color head-up display that not only shows your current velocity and the posted speed limit, but can read speed limit signs, even temporary ones. This is incredibly useful in Sicily, where, like the rest of Europe, speed limits can change 13 times in as many kilometers. The bad news? You can't see the heads-up display if you're wearing polarized sunglasses. Finally then, we get to how the A6 drives. Not bad. The new car is lighter, but 80 pounds doesn't mean much in practice, especially if the old version isn't there for a comparison. Like the A4 and the A8 before it, the new A6 has a drive select mode. Unlike the 2 earlier cars, there's now an eco mode that replaces the virtual throttle cable with a piece of yarn and shifts into top gear by 16 miles per hour. I absolutely hated it and shut it off after 40 yards. Then there's comfort mode, which forces the optional air suspension into an imitation of a 1976 Mercury Montego. Hey, floaty can be fun. Besides, it's a very comfortable way to travel, even over the fairly harsh expansion joints that are a trait of Sicily's numerous bridges. Then there's dynamic mode, which fully sharpens the throttle response, holds gear so the engine note can infiltrate the overly quiet cabin, hardens up the dampers, and reweights the steering. Oh yeah, the steering. Like the A4 and the A8, the adaptive steering is the A6's weakest link. Overboosted and sloppy in comfort mode, artificially heavy, uncommunicative, and just plain sketchy in dynamic mode, and God knows what you're going to get in auto mode, the whole apparatus is the A6's Achilles heel. And really, the brands as a whole. During our Car of the Year testing, the major gripe with the Big Daddy A8 was its steering. The A6 follows them footsteps, which is a big time shame. It's also a shame that we Americans are not getting the 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. The 8-speed automatic is fine, but you can't call it fun. Actually, that pretty much sums up the new A6's driving experience. And there we have it, the brand new Audi A6. Smooth, fast, comfortable, luxurious, high-tech, and just a few lines of steering code away from being a really great sports sedan. That's it from Sicily. Arrivederci, everybody.